Hi guys, and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today I'll be doing a first part of the tutorial for the module 5594 for the GG-B100. I say first part because in this I'm gonna cover the basics, the normal functions, alarm, stopwatch, countdown timer, and the initial setup of the watch. And I'll save part 2 for the sensor functions, the altimeter, barometer, compass, and all that other. Now these are also going to be watch only functions. I will show you how to pair the watch and what types of connections you have and how to clear the memory of the watch or clear it or unpair it from a phone, but that's it. I won't go into detail when it comes to the app because it's pretty self-explanatory. Unless you haven't been using a smartphone for the last couple of years, you should really have no problems adapting to the G-Shock connected app. But like I said, this is going to be a watch only tutorial, so even if you don't have a phone or it's not available or you don't want to connect it to your phone, you'll still be able to use almost all the functions. So this is what this tutorial is going to be all about. Now, just like in all my other tutorials, in the description you will find a table of content with time codes, so you can jump to specific parts of the video or functions of the watch. However, as always, I would advise you to watch the whole video the first time, just so you get acquainted with all the functions that this watch has. Now, once you get the watch, the first thing that you want to do is pair it with your phone because it's going to make using the watch a lot easier. Now, to pair the watch, all you have to do is install the G-Shock connected app, and I'll probably leave the link in the description. Enable Bluetooth on your phone and then start the app. In the app, it's going to ask you what type of watch you have. Then you find the GG-B100, click on it, and it's going to tell you to press and hold this button for 2 seconds until the seconds hand goes to this R. So you press and hold like this, and the watch is going to try to pair to the app like so. Once it pairs to the app, it's automatically gonna I'm just gonna stop it. It's automatically gonna update the time, the date, and your time zone. Once you've paired it for the first time, after that, the watch is automatically going to connect to your phone up to 4 times a day, always updating and having accurate time. However, there are 3 types of connections that you can do to your phone. The first one is time only. So let's say you travel to another time zone and your phone updates the time zone. To manually update the watch, all you have to do is press this button. So just press it once. The watch is going to connect to your phone, update the time in a couple of seconds or up to a minute, and disconnect from the phone. To stop the connection, manually you press any of the buttons. The second type of the connection is the same as with pairing. So what you do is press and hold this for 2 seconds until the watch shows the R like this. Takes one full circle and goes to the app. Now this type of connection is going to be used when you want to update the settings of the watch and use the app to actually set up the watch, the information like your weight, like the units, and to use the alarms and all of that. Now this one just didn't connect because my phone is out of the reach. And the third type of the connection is a phone finder. So as long as you have the Bluetooth turned on your phone and the app is running in the background, all you have to do is press and hold this for more than 5 seconds. So you have to wait for this to complete 3 revolutions and go back to R. So press and hold, still hold, and now you activated the finder. So if the phone is within the range of the Bluetooth signal, it's going to start ringing at maximum volume. And that's pretty much it. To terminate any of these connections, you simply press the mode button. So this is it when it comes to the app. I also said that I'm going to show you how to clear the memory of the watch as well. So to clear the pairing information inside the watch, and this is something you will have to do if the watch starts acting funny, doesn't want to connect to the phone, or you encounter any kind of connection problems, all you have to do is be in the home screen. Now to be in the home screen, you have to press the mode button until you cycle and you have the time written right here. So let's do a full circle. There, time. Now you know that you're in the home screen. While in the home screen, you press and hold the adjust button for more than 2 seconds. Until you get into the settings screen. Then press it again. And now while the seconds are flashing, you press and hold this for 2 seconds until you hear pair clear like this. So you press and hold and the watch is gonna clear the pairing information. And that's pretty much it. So that's it when it comes to the to the settings of when it comes to the app and connection. Like I said, I won't go into detail because once you connect to the app, everything is going to be self-explanatory. So now let's go back to setting the watch manually without the app. The first thing that I want to show you is how to correct the position of the hands. This is important because all analog digital G-Shocks that are regular battery operated like this one, whenever you change the battery, the hands get messed up, because whenever you change the battery, the watch assumes hands are pointing at midnight. So unless you change the battery exactly at midnight, they're gonna get misaligned. So to correct them, you have to be in the home screen and press and hold the adjust button, but this time you have to press and hold it for more than 5 seconds. So you have to ignore the first beep that takes you to the time setting and wait until you have H set written here, which means hand setting. So press and hold, still hold, and now release. And now, as you can see, the watch has written seconds and 00. So it's telling us that the seconds hand has to point at midnight. If it's pointing anywhere other than midnight, you would use these two buttons to correct it, like so. So you can go clockwise and counterclockwise. Once you've set up the seconds hand, you would press the mode button to set up the hour and minute hand. Now, as you can see, also the display says 000, so 0 hours, 0 minutes. If the hands stop anywhere other than midnight, you would have to correct them again using these two buttons. And again, you can correct them counterclockwise and clockwise. Also, please note that the hour hand is connected to the minute hand. So if you have to move the hour hand, you actually have to make the minute hand cycle do a full rotation before the hour hand is moved, like so. Naturally, you can speed scroll by pressing and holding the buttons like I just did. So to go back, you simply press and hold. Once it starts moving, you can release the button. To stop it, you press any of these two buttons. So now let's just wait for it to get to midnight, and we're gonna stop it and then fine-tune it, and that's gonna be it. Like so. It means like I managed to stop it right at the center. So once you have your hands aligned like this after a battery change in the hand setting mode, you press the adjust button to exit the hand setting mode and go back to the home screen. Once you've done that, now you're ready to adjust the watch manually, the time, date, and everything. Like I said, you can also do it by pairing with the phone, but if you don't want to, if you want to adjust the watch manually, you can do so. So while in the home screen, you press and hold the adjust button and release it after the first beep, like so. And now the watch is going to ask you for your home city. Now, cycling with these two buttons, you can go east and you can go west. So we're going to leave it at like so. Once you've set up your home city, you press the mode button and the watch is going to ask you for the daylight savings time, or DST. This is the summertime that some time zones observe. You can leave it at auto, where the watch is going to automatically change the time according to your phone. When there's a switch between a summertime and wintertime, you can, with the lower button, toggle it to off to override the signal from the phone, so the watch always leaves it at off, or put it to on so that it overrides again the signal from the phone, always keeping it on. Let's put it back to auto. Pressing the mode button again, the watch is going to ask you for the key tone. So whether you want the watch to beep every time when you press the keys, you leave it like this. If you want the watch muted, to not make any sounds when you press the buttons, you press the lower button and you're going to activate the mute function. That's it. Let's leave it at key tone. Pressing the mode button again, the watch asks you for the backlight duration. If you leave it like this at LT3, the backlight is going to be on for 3 seconds after you press the light button. If you toggle it to 1, it's going to be on for 1.5 seconds. Let's leave it at 3. Pressing the mode button again, the watch jumps to the 12 or 24 hour display. If you have a display like this, 24 hour, it's going to display the military time. You can also toggle it to a 12-hour display, then you're going to have the AM and PM indicator. I always prefer this since I'm in Europe, so we're going to leave it like this. Pressing the mode button again asks you whether you want the watch to receive data from your phone or not. Now, I cannot turn it on currently because I just cleared the pairing data, but once you pair the watch to your phone, you can toggle it on or off with the lower button. If you leave it at off, the watch is not going to try to connect to your phone up to 4 times a day. If you put it to on, it's going to do it. And that's pretty much it. Pressing the mode button again, the watch is going to ask you for the slope. Now, this slope function means that in the step tracker or activity tracker that this watch has, the watch will automatically count the steps that you make over the day. If you turn the slope on, it's also going to store or measure the altitude difference as you're walking around, so the actual activity is going to be more accurate. If you put it to off, it's going to ignore altitude difference and just going to count the steps like you're walking on an even plane. And that's pretty much it. Let's put it to on. Pressing the mode button again, the watch is going to ask you for the units. The first one is for the altimeter, so meters or feet. Let's put it to meters. Pressing the mode button again, the watch is going to ask you for the barometer unit, whether you want the hectopascal or millimeters Hg. Let's put it to hectopascal. Pressing it again, it's going to ask you for the temperature, so you can have degrees centigrade or degrees Fahrenheit. And pressing it again cycles back to the home city. So now, as you can see, pressing this is gonna keep cycling between these. To actually set up the time and let's go back to the centigrade. To actually set up the time and date while you're in the adjusting screen, you have to press this button again. So now the watch jumps to the setting of the time. And now the first thing that the watch offers are the seconds. You reset them with the lower button. However, if you reset them between 30 and 59, the seconds are going to jump back to 0 and the minutes are going to move by 1 up. So from 56 to 57. So let's try and do it. 30, 31. So if I reset it now, as you can see, the minutes moved to 57. If you reset the seconds between 0 and 29, like now, they're going to jump back to 0, but the minutes are going to stay unchanged. So let's press them again. As you can see, they jumped to 0, minutes stayed unchanged. Pressing the mode button, the watch is going to ask us for the hours. And again, you can go up, you can go down, and you can also speed scroll if you press and hold, like this. And the same goes for the minutes as well. So pressing the mode button again, the watch is going to ask you for the minutes. You can go up, you can go down, and you can naturally speed scroll. Pressing the mode button again, the watch is going to ask you for the year. So you can go up, you can go down. Pressing it again, the watch is going to ask you for the month. Again, the same, up and down. And pressing it again, it's going to ask you for the date. The day of the week is calculated automatically based on the calendar data you input here, so the watch is not going to ask you that. Pressing the mode button again, the watch jumps back to the seconds. Once you've adjusted everything, so everything is correct, to exit the adjusting screen, you press the adjust button again, so the third time. And now the watch jumps back to the home screen. And that's it. You just set up the units, the date, the time and everything you need, and the home city of this watch. It's very important to set up the home city correctly because the times in the world time function are actually calculated based on your home city. Anyways, that's it. So now while in the home screen, like I said, pressing and holding this is going to enter the adjusting screen. However, just pressing it is going to toggle what this screen displays right here. Currently, we're displaying the barometric data and the date and month. Pressing it again, we go back to the time display, so hours, minutes, seconds. Pressing it again, the watch is going to display the step counter, how many steps you made today. Pressing it again goes to the full calendar, day of the week, date, month. And pressing it again goes back to the barometric data, month, date, like so. So this is how you toggle it. Pressing this button is going to take it to the compass, which is something we're going to cover in the second part of the tutorial. Pressing this is going to take it to the altimeter. Again, something we're going to cover. Connect, I already explained how it works, and the mode button cycles you through different modes until you go back to the home time, like so. Pressing the lower button is going to activate the light. However, this watch also has an auto light feature. So if you press and hold the light button for more than 3 seconds, you're going to activate the auto light, and you're going to have this little LT written here. So what that means is that if you put the watch level and tilt it to your face, it's going to activate the light automatically. To turn it off, you press and hold this button again for more than 3 seconds. Like so, until the LT disappears. Since this is not a solar powered watch, to save the battery, the watch is going to turn off the auto light function after 6 hours automatically, whether you turn it on or off. Then you have to turn it on again. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the home screen. So now let's move on to the next regular function, so not a sensor function. Pressing the mode button, we're going to go to the stopwatch. This watch comes with a 24-hour stopwatch that can measure down to 1/100th of a second for the first hour and then 1 second for the rest of the time. To start it, you press the lower button. You can stop it, and to reset it, you press the upper button. You can also do split times, meaning that you start the stopwatch. Pressing the upper button is going to freeze the screen, but the stopwatch keeps running in the background. And to unfreeze the screen, you press this button again. And you can also do the first and second place. So if you have two runners, when the first one goes through the finish line, you press the upper button. When the second one goes through the finish line, you press the lower button. Once you've written the time of the first runner, you press the upper button again. It's gonna write the time of the second runner. And to reset the stopwatch, you press the upper button once more. And that's pretty much it. Let's move on to the next function. The next function is the countdown timer. This watch comes with a 24-hour countdown timer settable down to a minute. So if I start it like this, by pressing the lower button, it's gonna start counting down from 24 hours. Once it reaches 0, it's gonna beep. You can also stop it and reset it back to the time set in memory. And naturally, like I said, you can adjust it to any time between 1 minute and 24 hours. To do so, while the countdown timer is not running, you press and hold this adjust button to enter the settings screen. And once you're here, the watch is gonna ask you for the minutes. Just like when setting up the time, you press and hold, you press this button or this button to increase or decrease the values. Once you've set the minutes, you press the mode button and it's gonna ask you for the hours. Again, you can go up, you can go down. Once you've set that up, to exit the adjusting screen, you simply press the adjust button. So now this countdown timer is set down to 1 hour and 58 minutes. To start it, again, you press the start button, you can stop it and reset it back to that time stored in memory. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the countdown timer. Let's move on. The next function is the alarm. This watch comes with 5 alarms and the hourly chime function, where the watch is gonna beep every full hour. To cycle through the alarms, you press the lower button. So alarm 2, and it's gonna tell you whether it's on or off. Alarm 3, off, set up at midnight. Alarm 4, off, set up at midnight. Alarm 5, off, set up at midnight. And the hourly chime is off. To turn any of these on or off, you select the desired function. So in this case, it's the hourly chime, and press the adjust button. Now the SIG is on. You're gonna have this little bell icon here. What that means is that the watch is gonna beep every full hour. To turn on any of the alarms, you select the alarm, let's say alarm 2, and again press the adjust button. And now you have the alarm 2 that's turned on, and it's gonna beep it's gonna ring every day at midnight. As soon as you have any of the alarms turned on, you're gonna have this ALM symbol right here. Naturally, just like with all other alarms, you can set them up to any desired time. So let's say we select alarm 4 and we want to set it up for, I don't know, 2 a.m. or 2:30 a.m. or 2:05 a.m. To adjust the time, you simply press and hold the adjust button to enter the adjusting screen. And please note that even when the alarm is turned off, like this one currently is, as soon as you start adjusting it, it's going to turn itself on. And now, just like with the countdown timer and the main time, the watch is going to ask you for the hours. And using these two buttons, just like so far, you can increase the values or decrease the values. So let's put it to 2. Pressing the mode button, the watch is going to ask us for the minutes. So again, you can go up, you can go down, and let's say 2:05. Now pressing the adjust button exits the adjusting screen, and this alarm has been set up to go off every day at 2:05 a.m. So it's a daily alarm, and it's gonna keep doing so until you go into the alarm, select the alarm 2, and turn it off by pressing the adjust button. And that's it when it comes to the alarm function. And the last of the regular functions is the world time function. In the world time function, you can see up to 48 cities, I believe 38 time zones, and I believe 40 something cities, but you can customize what 40 cities you see in the app. And in the app, you have up to 500 cities. Now, to move through the time zones in the world time, you use these two buttons. So you can go both east, and you can go west, and you even have a shortcut back to the UTC by pressing these two buttons simultaneously. The watch is going to jump back to the UTC to stop you from scrolling all the time zones. And naturally, this watch has a time swap function where you select a time zone where you're going to travel. So let's say if you're traveling to, what did I select? Okay, let's say Dubai. Once you land in Dubai, you don't want to read the time on this small screen. You want Dubai time to be on your main, shown with your main hands so that it's easy to read, but you still want to keep track of your home time by placing it on this little screen. Now to do so, you don't have to manually rearrange things, but you can swap the home time and the world time by pressing and holding the light button for more than 2 seconds in the world time function. So press and hold. And as you can see, home time swapping with the world time, and now our home time has been moved to the digital display, while the Dubai time or the world time is going to be shown using the hands, which is pretty cool. Once you travel back to your home time to swap back things, you again press this light button for more than 2 seconds, and there, you just swapped it. So now the hands are going to go back to showing our home time, and Dubai time is going to be displayed here. The last thing, this is a very useful function for frequent travelers. Now the last thing that you can do in the world time is turn the DST setting for each individual time zone, except UTC. So in Dubai, if you want to turn on the DST or summertime, you simply press and hold the adjust button until the hours move by 1 up. So let's do it. Press and hold, and there. DST auto, you can toggle it to off or to on. Or if you leave it to auto, it's going to update via your phone. And that's pretty much it. Pressing the adjust is going to exit the adjusting screen. Pressing the mode button again takes us back to the home screen. And that's pretty much it. So this covers, like I said, the basic functions of this watch, the basic time functions. I will also be doing a second part of the tutorial where I'm going to cover all the sensor functions, so please stay tuned for that as well. Anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until the next video, bye.